A Church Slavonic Primer by Alexander Brooks. Lesson 5. Today I have some good news for you. If you learn your Church Slavonic, you will never have to have the you, who, thou, thee debate again. This is because in Church Slavonic there is a centuries-long, already established norm for how certain persons are addressed, and a concrete grammatical difference between personal pronouns. In Church Slavonic, there's a singular you and a plural you, and the singular you also implies a less formal, more intimate relationship between two persons. Of course, if you're familiar with your King James Bible, you will already know something about this concept, and that it's not just about having highfalutin language. We could say that it is in fact an indication of how the Lord invites us into an intimate relationship with Himself. In Church Slavonic, we always address God in the singular, intimate form of the second-person pronoun, which is thou, whether the person or persons addressed may be the Trinity, or the Father, or the Son, or the Holy Spirit.
The Theotokos and the saints are also addressed with this form. In response to the priest, he is also addressed with this form. Thus, to thee, O Lord, is Tibie Gospodi. Tibie is the dative form of the second person singular pronoun, and it's in the dative form because, like we said in the last lesson, we're sending something to the Lord. The second word, Gospodi, I hope you already know. If you recall, in Lesson 2 I talked about some pronouns when we covered have mercy on us. I mentioned that there are different words for the various inflections of pronouns, though usually a connection can be seen between these words. This inflection of pronouns to a small degree is seen with some of the older forms of English pronouns, such as thou and thee, and ye and you in the plural. This distinction between singular and plural, and intimate and formal, by the way, remains to this day in many Slavic and other languages. The inflection that we have talked about so much in the different forms of pronouns also extends to possessive pronouns. That is, we have a form for all the persons in all the cases. But as I mentioned above, there are often commonalities between these forms. For instance, in the phrase, and to thy spirit, we have the second person singular possessive pronoun thy. It begins with a t, as does the second person dative pronoun that we saw above, and all the other case forms also begin with a t. Thus, I duchovi tvojemu is and to thy spirit. This is a grammatically straightforward phrase, but it is the first instance we have in which the syntax does not match up with the English syntax. A literal translation would read, and to spirit thy. You, I hope, recognize a few things in this phrase. You should know E for and then you might have thought that tvojemu looks kind of similar to svetomu from the phrase in Lesson 4. This would be a very good correlation, because the yemu ending is one of the other variations for the masculine dative adjective ending that I mentioned. With this possessive pronoun, and with certain others, the endings partially match up with the adjective endings. Those of you that studied the last lesson well are probably wondering why the above word I said is in the dative form of spirit, duchovi, does not coincide with the dative for spirit, duchu, that we had in the phrase, glory to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit. This is because the dative form in today's phrase with an ovi ending is an exception. This is seen in a number of places, but not so often. As usual, you can find a PDF transcription of this lesson and links to audio for listening practice on my website at russianmanner.com.